Have you ever looked at your phone on a Friday night, scrolling through photos of other people's lives, and felt like you're watching the world through a window you can't open? Like everyone else got the instruction manual for connection, but yours got lost in the mail. Here's the funny thing. The more desperately we run from loneliness, the more it seems to follow us. It's like trying to outrun your own shadow. What if I told you that feeling alone has nothing to do with how many people are in your contact list? Think about this. A tree doesn't chase after birds to fill its branches. It simply grows, reaches toward the sun, sinks roots into the earth, and the birds come. Not because the tree is desperate, but because it became what it was meant to be. Let me tell you something wild. Loneliness isn't what you think it is. It's not about being alone in a room. You can feel completely isolated at a party with 100 people. You can feel deeply connected sitting by yourself watching the rain. See, we've been sold this story that loneliness is about the absence of people. But that's like saying darkness is just the absence of light. No, loneliness is the absence of real connection. And here's where it gets interesting. Connection doesn't start with other people. It starts with you. When you believe I'll be alone forever, you're not predicting the future. You're creating it. It's like believing winter will never end while you're sitting in your house with all the curtains drawn. How would you even know spring arrived? The mind is a powerful thing. It takes whatever story you feed it and makes it real. Tell yourself you're forever alone, and you'll unconsciously push people away. You'll miss the smile from the cashier. You'll ignore the neighbor who wants to chat. You'll decline invitations because what's the point? But weather changes, seasons turn, and the belief that any feeling is permanent is just your mind playing tricks on you. Nothing in this universe stays the same. Not mountains, not oceans, and definitely not your situation. Now here's where most people mess up. They think finding someone will complete them. Like they're a puzzle with a missing piece. So if only I had a partner, then I'd be happy. If only I had more friends, then I'd feel whole. But people aren't medicine for your emptiness. They're not band-aids for your wounds. When you approach others from a place of desperate need, what do you think they feel? They feel the weight of your expectations. They feel the pressure to fix something that isn't their job to fix. It's like being thirsty and trying to drink from an empty cup. You keep reaching for others to fill you up, but you haven't noticed that the cup has a hole in the bottom. No amount of external validation will ever be enough. Here's the paradox that'll blow your mind. The moment you stop needing people desperately is the moment they start appearing in your life. It's like when you stop looking for your keys and suddenly remember where they are. The desperate search blinds you to what's right in front of you. When you're running around frantically looking for connection, you give off an energy. People can smell desperation like animals can smell fear. But when you're comfortable in your own skin, when you're okay being alone, that's when you become magnetic. Let's clear something up. There's a massive difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is solitude without peace. Solitude is being alone without being lonely. And here's the secret. Solitude isn't punishment. It's training. Think about this. Buddha sat under a tree alone. Jesus went into the desert alone. Every philosopher, every great thinker, every person who ever figured anything out did it in solitude. You know why? Because when the noise stops, you can finally hear. In our world, we're terrified of silence. We fill every moment with podcasts, music, TV shows, social media. We're so afraid of being alone with ourselves that we don't even know who we are anymore. But solitude is where you meet yourself. It's like looking in still water. When the water is disturbed, you can't see your reflection. But when it's calm, you see everything clearly. Solitude calms the water of your mind. In solitude, you discover something incredible. You're not as boring as you thought. You're not as broken as you believed. There's a whole universe inside you that you've been too distracted to explore. You start hearing the music that only plays when everything else is quiet. Here's something that'll shake you. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. The only thing that has ever existed is right now. This moment. As you read these words, but where does your mind live? It's either replaying old conversations, old rejections, old failures, or it's projecting future scenarios, future loneliness, future pain. You're living in ghost worlds while missing the only world that's real. Memories are just electrical patterns in your brain. They're not happening now. That embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago? It only exists because you keep bringing it back to life. That fear about dying alone? It's a movie you're playing about a future that hasn't happened. The present moment is where life happens. It's where connection happens. But you can't connect with someone if you're not here. You're either in yesterday or tomorrow. And meanwhile, someone right now might be trying to connect with you. Try this. Feel your breath right now. Feel your body in the chair. Notice the sounds around you. This is reality. Everything else is just thoughts. And when you're fully present, something magical happens. The loneliness dissolves. Because loneliness can't exist in the now. It needs the past and future to survive. We're all walking around wearing masks. The successful mask, the happy mask, the I've got it all together mask. And then we wonder why nobody really knows us. How can they? They've never met us. You post the highlight reel on social media. You say, "Here I'm fine," when you're falling apart. You pretend to like things you don't like. You hide the weird parts, the broken parts, the real parts. And then you feel alone. But you're not alone. You're hidden. Connection happens between two real people, not between two performances. When masks meet masks, it's like two mannequins trying to hug. There's contact but no warmth. Here's what nobody tells you. Your weird is what makes you wonderful. Your quirks are what make you memorable. Your vulnerabilities are what make you relatable. People don't connect with perfect. They connect with real, the things you're hiding. Someone else is hiding the same things. The struggles you think make you unlovable. Someone else is fighting the same battles. But if you never show them, how will you find each other? We live in our heads so much that we forget we have bodies. We treat our body like it's just a taxi carrying our brain around. But your body is where connection happens. It's where life happens. When you're disconnected from your body, you're disconnected from life. You can't feel the sun on your skin. You can't taste your food. You can't feel the ground under your feet. You're living as a floating head, wondering why you feel untethered. Your body is constantly trying to connect. It wants to move, to dance, to touch, to be touched. But we shut it down. We sit in chairs all day. We stare at screens. We forget that we're animals who need physical reality. Start simple. Take a walk without your phone. Feel your feet hit the ground. Breathe deeply and feel your chest expand. Stretch and feel your muscles wake up. This isn't about looking good. It's about feeling alive. When you're connected to your body, you give off a different energy. You're grounded. You're present. You're real. People can sense it. It's the difference between a plastic flower and a real one. Both might look similar, but only one is truly alive. Control is the enemy of connection. The more you try to control relationships, the more they slip through your fingers. It's like holding sand. Squeeze tightly and it escapes. Hold gently and it stays. We want guarantees. We want to know that if we do X, we'll get Y. If I'm nice enough, people will like me. If I'm successful enough, I'll find love. But life doesn't work that way. Connection isn't a vending machine where you put in coins and get out relationships. Relationships are like dancing. You can't plan every step. You have to feel the rhythm, move with your partner, adjust as you go. If you're thinking about the steps, you're not dancing. You're performing a routine. The need for control comes from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of being hurt. But here's the truth. You can't control whether someone stays or goes. You can't control whether someone loves you. The only thing you can control is whether you show up as yourself. When you drop the need to control, something beautiful happens. Relationships become adventures instead of projects. People become mysteries to explore instead of problems to solve. And suddenly, connection flows naturally, like water finding its way. We think vulnerability is weakness. We think showing our struggles, our fears, our needs makes us less attractive, so we armor up. We act tough. We pretend we don't need anyone, and then we wonder why we feel so alone. But vulnerability isn't weakness. It's the only way to connect. It's the bridge between two people. When you say, "I'm scared," you give someone permission to say, "Me too." When you admit you're struggling, you create space for someone else to be real. Think about the people you feel closest to. Are they the ones who never showed weakness? Or are they the ones who cried in front of you, who admitted their mistakes, who asked for help? Real bonds are forged in vulnerability, not in perfection. But here's the catch. Vulnerability without boundaries is just emotional dumping. It's using someone as your therapist without their consent. True vulnerability is sharing your truth while respecting the other person's capacity to receive it. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to say, I feel lonely sometimes, to admit I don't have it all figured out, to ask, would you like to be friends? But that courage is what separates those who stay lonely from those who find connection. Here's a truth that rich, lonely people know. You can buy company, but you can't buy connection. You can pay for attention, but you can't pay for affection. You can purchase presents, but you can't purchase love. Some people think if they just had more money, more success, more status, then people would want them. But that's like thinking if you had a bigger magnet, you could attract wood. Wrong tool for the job. When you use money or status to attract people, you attract people who want money and status, not people who want you. It's like fishing with gold coins as bait and wondering why you only catch people with their hands out. Real connection doesn't care about your bank account. It doesn't care about your job title. It doesn't care about your Instagram followers. It cares about whether you're real, whether you're present, whether you're open. The richest moments in life are free. A deep conversation under the stars, a laugh that makes your stomach hurt, a hug when you need it most. These things can't be bought. They can only be received when you're open to them. When loneliness lasts too long, it can turn into something toxic, resentment, bitterness. Why does everyone else have it so easy? Why am I the only one struggling? The world is cruel and people are selfish. But resentment is like drinking poison and expecting others to get sick. It doesn't hurt the world, it hurts you. It builds walls where you need bridges. It closes doors where you need openings. The world didn't reject you. You rejected the world. Every bitter thought is another brick in the wall between you and connection. Every resentful feeling is another lock on the door of your heart. Here's what resentment doesn't want you to know. People aren't avoiding you because you're unworthy. They're avoiding your energy. When you're radiating bitterness, you repel the very connections you crave. It's like being covered in thorns and wondering why no one wants to hug you. The antidote to resentment isn't pretending everything is fine. It's gentleness. Being gentle with yourself for struggling. Being gentle with others for not knowing how to help. Being gentle with the world for being imperfect. Gentleness dissolves resentment, like warm water dissolves ice. When did you stop playing? When did life become so serious that you forgot how to laugh at nothing? When did every interaction become a test you could fail instead of a game you could enjoy? Children make friends in 5 minutes, not because they're naive, but because they know something we forgot. Connection happens in play, in silliness, in doing things just because they're fun. We've turned dating into job interviews. We've turned friendship into networking. We've turned conversation into performance reviews. No wonder we're exhausted. No wonder we're lonely. We've forgotten how to play. Play is how humans connect. It's how we've always connected. Through games, through laughter, through shared joy. But we're so afraid of looking foolish that we'd rather look dead inside. Start small, smile at a dog, make a silly face at a baby, tell a bad joke, sing in your car, dance in your kitchen, not to attract someone, just to remember what it feels like to be alive. Because aliveness attracts aliveness, joy attracts joy, and play attracts playmates. Let me tell you about trees. A tree doesn't chase after birds. It doesn't beg flowers to bloom on it. It doesn't plead with squirrels to visit. It just grows. It sinks roots deep into the earth. It reaches branches toward the sky. It becomes fully itself. And then something magical happens. Birds build nests in its branches. Flowers bloom around its base. Squirrels make homes in its trunk. Life gathers around it. Not because it chased life, but because it became alive. You are the tree. Your values are your roots. They keep you grounded when storms come. Your vision is your branches. It's where you're reaching, what you're growing toward. Your presence is your leaves. It's what you offer the world right now. When you focus on growing your roots, extending your branches, sprouting your leaves, you stop worrying about the birds. You trust that when you become a healthy tree, life will find you. Connection will find you. Love will find you. But if you spend all your time chasing birds when you never grow, you stay a seedling forever, running around the forest, wondering why no bird wants to nest in your tiny branches. Grow first. Trust the rest will come. What if loneliness isn't a curse but a call? What if it's not pushing you away from life but pulling you towards something? What if it's not saying you're unworthy, but asking, who are you really? Loneliness is a teacher dressed as a demon. It shows up when you've wandered too far from yourself, when you've been wearing masks too long, when you've been living someone else's life. It's calling you home. The pain of loneliness is the pain of separation from yourself. You feel alone because you've abandoned yourself. You've left yourself to chase approval, to meet expectations, to fit in, and your soul is calling you back. When you answer the call, when you come home to yourself, something shifts. You stop needing others to complete you because you realize you're already whole. You stop fearing abandonment because you'll never abandon yourself again. And from this place of wholeness, connections happen naturally. Like attracts like. When you're connected to yourself, you attract others who are connected to themselves. When you're real, you attract real. When you're home in yourself, you create home for others. Here's the truth. Nobody wants to tell you. You're not alone. You never were. You're part of this universe, growing out of it like a wave from the ocean. The feeling of separation is just an illusion your mind created. The path out of loneliness isn't finding someone. It's finding yourself. It's dropping the masks, opening your heart and showing up as the beautifully imperfect human you are. The connections you're seeking are seeking you too, but they can't find you if you're hiding. If this message resonated with you, if something here touched that lonely place in your heart, then we're already connected. Hit subscribe to join others on this journey of awakening. Give this video a like if it helped you see loneliness differently. And remember, you're not walking this path alone.